Hi Fox, how you doing? With some delay, today we're gonna see a beautiful game played, a little nice game between Anand and Nakamura in this Zurich Chess Challenge in 2014. Well, by the way, the classical section of this tournament was won by Magnus Carlsen. Uh, Aronian lost the last game against Caruana, so Carlsen is in the sole lead. And there we go. This is the game between Vichy and with white. Nakamura is black. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5. We got once again the famous Berlin. Naka has been using this defense more and more lately, so nothing that strange. And D3. So of course Anand is a big expert in the Ruy Lopez in the Berlin with both colors, so he had lots of these games in the World Championship match with Carlsen, for instance. And here, well, we have lots of lines. Bishop C5 is played, bishop takes, D takes. Vichy has played this no less than 6 times, so he knows what he's doing. Bishop e3 is a principal move here, but he plays first h3. I guess the pin wouldn't be very comfortable, very nice for white, so seems to be a little bit slow, but it's a possibility. It's a move. Now knight takes c5, as many times in the Ruy Lopez, is a big blunder, of course, because queen d4. This is a very fast way to lose the game as white. Black is attacking both f2 and the knight, so white isn't losing material. And after h3, bishop e6 is played, knight c3. Knight g5 is an interesting move, in my opinion. This was played in Kiev Efimenko 2009. White won that game. If you want to look at that, take a look at that game. It was played in 2009, so it was a cool game, I think. But knight c3 was played here, of course, it can't be bad developing. Now queen d6. Black is showing his intentions to probably castle long. Short castle and effectively long castle. Once again, opposite side castling, which predicts a potentially exciting game. a3. Well, here first comes first serve, so the one who reaches opponent's kings first will have the initiative and probably will win the game. So a3, b4 is the idea probably. Here knight h5 is played with some ideas of someday probably playing f5, though right now it wouldn't be possible. Now these covered attacks with the queens, we will see now. And the knight will be willing to go to f4. There, it will be nice there. Here knight a4 is played. Now this bishop for black is very important to support his attack, so it makes lots of sense for white to try to exchange it. So get rid of the bishop pair of black. Bishop b6 and knight takes, a takes. Now funny looking these 4 pawns in 2 isolated pawns here in each row, like a square here. Interesting looking. a4 is played here and f6 to support g4, g5, h5, and to stop white from playing knight g5 or bishop g5. Of course, as I said earlier, f5 is a little bit worse. Well, because there are some tactics here favoring white. Now white could take, and now bishop takes f5, knight takes e5, attacking this covered attack with the queen on the knight. And now after queen takes e5, not even taking, but first an intermediate quiet move, rook e1 attacking the queen. Now after queen d4, now white takes, winning a pawn and leaving black without much compensation. So f5 would be a mistake here clearly. Instead f6 is a good move. Now bishop e3. It's interesting to take a look at this knight g5 move. Kind of sacrificing the knight, but white is going to take the one on h5 on his turn. Now what if f takes g5? Well, queen takes h5, attacking the pawn now on g5, h6, bishop e3, and well, this is slightly better maybe for white, but nothing really that great. the structure is a little bit more closed, but still lots of potential here to play. Instead, knight f8, knight f4. No, sorry, knight a4 probably better. Now bishop takes, e takes, knight takes e6, queen takes, a5 with, well, white having a little edge for his better structure. He doesn't have isolated pawns or whatever, while black has a couple of islands here and on the queen side, on the king side, sorry, and well, for his initiative, he has a little initiative, so white must be a little better here. But bishop e3 was played instead by Anand. Now knight f4. Making lots of sense. That knight looks really cool here on f4. Potentially having some sacrificing lines on h3, as we will see. This will happen and will give Anand with white pieces lots of headache. The engine insists on playing c5. He's been trying to place this move for a couple of moves here. It makes some sense. Now you control with black this d4 and b4 square very well, and you're cutting this bishop from acting here on this diagonal. Now this bishop is more or less useless right now. But knight f4 was played in Nakamura. Anand played a5, b5. Of course, if you take, and now white has a very strong initiative here on the a file. Probably may not be that much, but at least black must be careful. This can't be really good, having this open file against your king. So a5, b5, and now d4. According to the engine, not the best move. I mean, not a bad one, but it was much better to play a6. And b takes, rook takes, and white is really looking really nice. Otherwise, a6, if b6, now bishop takes, e takes, rook e1, and combining this possible e5 break into the center with the pawn on a6, white must be in the driving seat here, I think. The computer thinks so as well, and certainly it seems white has some initiative here, some serious initiative. Otherwise, d4 is forcing black to take on h3 with a nice counter-attack, sacrificing. What else? If he takes on d4, knight takes. Now there are some little tactics here for white, taking on e6, taking on f4. Let us take a look at what would happen. I mean, a silly move by black, say h5. And now, first, let us take a look at bishop takes f4. Well, the correct move is here to take on d4 with the queen. Not to take on f4, because now knight takes e6, rook takes d1, knight takes f4, and white is winning a piece. And the other possibility for white would be to take on e6 with the knight, where knight takes e6 is once again correct, and not queen takes e6, because now queen f3, knight g6, and well, still playable, but probably this is worse than the other line for black. But anyway, this wasn't going to happen. I mean, we made this h5 silly move just to show some captures here, some sequences. So knight takes h3 check. Very nice, very cute move here for black. I mean, he's kind of at this level. They said he had only this move to create counterplay, and it was a pleasure for black to have this only choice, and a nightmare for white, as we will see. G takes h3. Well, you could go to h1, but takes, and the knight goes back. So black will have taken a pawn without much compensation. So g takes h3 is critical. Now bishop takes h3, and first d takes e5. You can take the rook. The queen is attacked right now. Queen e6, and now knight d2, sacrificing the exchange, creating lots of imbalance here in the position. Lots of material imbalance. Bishop takes and queen takes f1. Two white pieces, the bishop and the knight against black rook and pawn. Imbalanced and interesting battle. The point for black is that he opened up white king side, so he will have lots of initiative if he is able to bring his rook against white king. Queen takes e5, and here c3, just to avoid black from taking on b2, I guess, stopping white threats, and also preparing bishop d4, for instance. King b8, kind of prophylactic move. a6, b6. Now the black king will be able to stop this pawn with king a7. Queen g2, this is the only logical way to relocate the queen. I mean, the queen doesn't have anything to do on this diagonal or here on the first rank. Queen g2 makes sense. Now rook d6. The rooks are going to try to get activated. Knight f1, maybe too slow, but now black gets initiative. It was interesting to look at queen takes g7. Now rook h d8, a7 check, king a8, and queen takes on c7. Rook g8 check, king f1, queen h2, and we're with a very sharp position. I mean, I think it's very easy to go wrong and get checkmated here with either color. This was very sharp, but didn't happen on the board, unfortunately. Knight f1 was played, and now f5. The idea of bringing the rook to the king side, to g6. Lots of initiative here for black. E takes f5, no choice, otherwise f4 and black rook. I mean, why f4 and then f3 now? This pawn will be harmful. E takes f5, queen takes f5, the idea of rook g6. Now, well, bishop d4 was another move, apart from knight g3, as we will see. And now after rook g6, put the knight on g3, queen e6, and well, white looks a little ugly, too shaky, too defensive. Instead, Anand played knight g3 first, attacking the queen. Queen d7. Now queen e4. White is trying to reorganize his pieces to create counterplay chances, or maybe exchange some of them, because it's obvious that black is now in the driving seat. Black is having the initiative. King a7, avoiding any trick there. King g2, and now h5. Black will push his pawns. Seems very natural. Rook e8 seems very natural as well. But anyway, h5 can't be bad anyway. Queen f5, trying to exchange queens, release some pressure. Queen e8, queen e4, queen f7. Black doesn't want to exchange, with lots of logic there. If you're attacking, try to not to exchange pieces and keep the pressure. King h1. White has no real plan, I think. He's trying just to survive here. h4. Once again, rook e8 made lots of sense, I think. But okay, h4 looks really great as well. Knight e2, now rook e8. Queen g4, rook g6, attacking the queen. Queen h3. And now here comes a very beautiful combination by Hikaru, leaving white in an absolutely miserable position. I really like this combination. It's probably the reason why I made this video and analyzed this game. Very cute. Queen d5 check, king h2, and now a bang move, a really fascinating move. Rook takes e3. While you're sacrificing some material, and it doesn't seem there is immediate winning line for black. I mean, you're not recovering material, giving checkmate, but this is leaving white in an absolutely miserable and a very bad position. F takes e3, obviously queen takes e3, not a good idea. This is checkmate in one. So F takes e3, and now the key move is queen d2, attacking the knight, and there is no real serious way of defending this knight. I mean, black is down a piece, basically, the knight, but his two pieces are very active, and white pieces are not coordinated at all. His king is very weak, so this gives black a very strong initiative and lots of advantage here. I mean, black is absolutely winning. Queen f1, maybe the only serious attempt to defend the knight, but now rook f6, and Anand resigned. Now, nothing to do for white. He's absolutely tied up and cooked. The rook on a1 is doing nothing. The queen is attacked. The knight is pinned, so no way to keep on playing seriously here. I mean, what to do? Queen e1 just to defend. Well, queen takes e3, and rook f2 check is coming with deadly effects. And the same would happen, for instance, with queen d1. Queen takes e3. This is probably worse because the queen is even more far away from his own king. So after this move, queen takes e3. After rook f6, Anand just resigned. Very beautiful game by Hikaru Nakamura, who, well, later who had a couple of bad games here, that epic battle against Carlsen, but still can play very beautiful games and win some nice games like this against Anand. So hope you liked the video, and thanks for watching.